Well, guys, in this video, we are going to talk to Paul and Mia and get a little bit about why they decided to leave the Philippines and will they be coming back. Stick around. All right, so guys, you left here. Well, Paul, you left here, I think it was
November of 21.
November of 21, and I actually remember because you literally left 2 weeks before the typhoon hit, and at that point we had to leave Mactan, Newtown, because it was pretty much destroyed. So
clairvoyance.
Yeah, I guess so. It was good timing. And Mia, it took you a while to get approved and the visa and everything to get to Saudi, right?
Yeah, it's in his because of his.
Well, first I went to the U.S. I didn't go straight to Saudi. I went to the U.S.
Texas,
yeah. And I worked there for a year. And actually, Mia was supposed to come to Mexico because at the end there, the last couple of months, 3 months or so, I was working remote from Mexico. And so she was supposed to come to Mexico, and she had applied for the school that was right beside where I lived.
Right.
And the lady said it was no problem for her to get in, the language school, Spanish. And so we were planning actually to live in Mexico, in Guanajuato. But then this opportunity came up with Saudi. So we talked about it, and we said, you know, it's a new adventure, let's try it. Always open for a new adventure. So I went to Saudi, and we thought it would take 1, 2, maximum 3 months to get her to Saudi, but it ended up taking, what, 7 months or so?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it was quite a wait, yeah.
And when you were in Texas, at the very beginning, were you liking it, or were you like, did you miss, were there some things when you got there you're like, wow, I really missed this?
Yeah, Walmart.
The women of Walmart.
Not the women, believe me.
Yeah.
No, you know the aisles here when you go shopping,
Right.
it's like you have to squeeze in between people.
Right.
And in the US it's a big aisle, so, and it's much more variety in the shopping and all that. So
Right.
I missed that. I missed the restaurants there and everything. Like there's a place called the White House in Odessa, Texas.
Yep.
That has one of the best burgers, the best burger I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
So, but living in Odessa, I was just there to earn and save.
Right.
Even instead of getting an apartment, I lived in a man camp, which was free, just to save. That's the only thing that was on my mind, was save, and invest. So, yeah.
And almost immediately were you like, did you second guess your move there at all, or?
No, because I was wanting to work so bad. I was like, you know, after 3 years here, I missed working. My plan was not originally to stay here or retire here. My plan was just to stay for a year while my non-compete expired and then go back to work. But then COVID happened and all that other stuff happened, so I stayed, and then I decided to retire. But after 3 years, I don't know, I just missed working, and this opportunity came up, so I went back to work. And I enjoyed working. I mean, if that job had been, let's say, me living in the Philippines, working that job would have been perfect. But living there, that's one of the reasons after they implemented that we could work remotely, I moved to Mexico, because I couldn't see myself living in Odessa much longer.
Right.
And I was actually on the verge of quitting before they implemented that remote work, because I just had it, you know, and the Philippines had opened back up where I could travel back, and I was ready to leave. But then the remote stuff, and then we talked about it, said let's go to Mexico, and then Mexico didn't happen, then it was Saudi, so it's a lot of waiting on her part. She was very patient, I have to say that.
And while Mia, you were waiting, you did some traveling too. You got to go to Malaysia now?
Yeah, because we were talking about if you go to Mexico and you're a Filipina, they don't allow sponsorship. So you gotta have your own money in your bank, and it shows that you travel also, different stamps from different places.
Right.
So we're thinking about it, like he told me to just go to Malaysia and, you know, maybe
get that stamp.
Yeah, get the first stamp on my passport. So that's what I did.
Yeah, that's what Maya and I have been doing, just to get her stamps, so it's easier when it comes time to
Because once they
travel.
see you've traveled out and come back and not stayed in that place a few times, they know you're not one of those that travel somewhere and then disappear in that country, you know.
Yeah.
So they know you're coming back.
Yeah.
The probability is pretty high.
Well, Maya's first time out, 45 minutes in immigration being questioned.
Yeah.
Second time, have a safe trip, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
Yeah.
So-
and of course, now that we're married, it's going to be a lot
Right.
easier when we travel. So.
now, Mia, did you have any preconceived notions about how Saudi would be? Were you thinking, oh my God, Saudi?
Well, the only thing that when he kept talking about Saudi, that it is so hot, I didn't think it would be that hot. Not as much as this here in the Philippines. Because like he said, baby, it's so hot here and all this. I said, I can bear it because the Philippines is also a hot country, right?
Right.
But I did not expect when I get there, dang, like the hotness, it went through
All the way to the bone, huh?
And I actually saw these worker that works in the street, and it was noontime, and I was wondering like how could they do that? It was too hot. I gotta drink water every now and then to keep my body cool, but it's not even enough.
Yeah. You were inside for the most part too.
Yeah.
So.
Were you worried about, were you hearing rumors about how Filipinos are mistreated in the Middle East and workers?
Mostly OFWs.
Yeah.
If you go work there, maybe you'll meet a very harsh employer or something like that. But for the most part, you never really think about me being
because her
harassed
situation
or
was
anything
different,
like that.
Right.
She's coming there not to work, but to be with me.
Yeah.
Right. It's totally different.
But when I met like Arabian people, they're really nice. Like they smile at you. They talk. They
very welcoming.
Joke. Yeah.
Yeah, they're super nice. The only thing, they're crazy drivers.
Worse than here?
If you think it's bad in Dumaguete, try driving in Saudi.
So, you guys are both enjoying Saudi, but at the same time, this is your second time back to the Philippines since you've left. And what are you feeling now? Are you feeling like, do you miss it at all? Is there anything you miss here?
No. Just kidding. No, I actually loved being back. I love the Filipino people. I love how calm things are here, like how laid back it is.
Less stress.
So, I was telling Mia, you don't see it now, but like before I came here, I had so many spots here, like here too, and there was this dark spots. You can still see a bit, but really bad here, all related to stress because of work. Wow. And now it's almost gone. So my stress level has gone way down. My stress level there is pretty high, as Mia can attest to.
Right.
And I love being back here. I was kind of a bit disappointed in Duma, to be honest. The traffic here has become horrendous, man. And the pollution is so bad here. So we've been talking about where we want to live, where we want to go. We're kind of planning places to see in the Philippines, places to see outside the Philippines before we kind of make a decision where to settle down. So we plan to use 1 or 2 years on that and then make a decision.
Okay. Do you have a short list of some places that you'd like to see?
Malaysia, Vietnam, Thailand, Spain.
Spain.
Yeah.
Okay. So 1 in Europe and the rest are right here in Asia.
Yeah.
So the Asia thing certainly makes it easier if Mia wants to visit family, though, huh?
Yes, yeah.
For sure. So.
Spain is nice. I have a best friend who lives in Spain who told me I can live at his place. He has a 4 or 5 bedroom house. He said I can live there for free. So, it gives me the possibility to go live there give us the possibility to go live there, let's say, for 3 months and get a feel for it.
Yeah.
I've lived in Spain before, but that was 2004. It's 20 years. Things have changed a lot.
Sure.
And also, I was working back then. Now I'll be retired, so
it'll be different.
It'll be way different. So, yeah, and then we thought about maybe if we really like Spain and let's say we want to live in the Philippines, we could do like 6 months here and 6 months there, at least for a while, till we're planning to have, at least we're going to try to have a couple of babies. Once they're 4 or 5 years old and go to school. Obviously, we can't do that anymore, but so then we'll have to choose one or the other.
Your life's put on hold for a small time,
Yeah.
So I know you had sent me a top 10 list of international retirement destinations.
Yeah, the Forbes top 10,
Yeah, and 4 were, I think, Spain.
The top 3 were Spain.
Top 3.
Alicante, Alicante,
Malaga.
Spain, Malaga, and Valencia, Spain.
And then there was a fourth one that was lower down.
Yeah, maybe Barcelona or something, Madrid or something, I can't remember.
And the only one that was in Asia was Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
Yeah.
So
I think it was number 7, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I was speaking to Paul Old Dog, and he said when he came here, he researched all these retirement places like we usually do before we go.
Mm-hmm.
And he said Philippines was like top 3 in all the retirements lists, and now they don't exist in any, except maybe one, they're number 15 or something.
Right.
So Philippines has really gone down the ranking. I guess the cost of living here has increased substantially.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Yep.
other issues probably have increased that are negative. So other places are looking good, you know.
Yeah, that's right. So I think overall, as far as a good, loving woman, I think Filipinos are still the best. But
Oh yeah. Yeah, if you're
But maybe not
single, there's no better place than the Philippines.
right, but as far as a place to live, maybe it's not necessarily the best place
Yeah.
anymore.
You had in one of your videos, I remember, you talked about coming to the Philippines, finding a good Filipina, and then living in a different country.
Mhm.
You know, so there's possibilities to get
Yeah.
the best of both worlds that way.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, Maya and I are gonna do Vietnam part time, and
Yeah.
so I think that's the way to go. I think a lot of people hit the 5-year mark here and they get kind of bored. And do you think if the pandemic hadn't been going on, do you think you still would have made the move, or do you think things could have been different?
It's hard to say. I think if the pandemic wasn't going on, I would have probably left earlier to go back to work, you know,
Really?
if the opportunity was there.
Yeah.
But the pandemic was going on, and I think the pandemic ruined a lot in the Philippines, I think, you know.
Yeah,
The attitudes
it did.
changed, and things got a lot worse, things got a lot more expensive. I don't know, it just seemed different to me
Yeah.
in 2019, beginning of 2020 than it does now. I can't really put my finger on it, but it just
Right.
seems different. You know, it was more fun back then than it is now.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And I definitely think it's more expensive. We've been, looking
Yeah.
for a place, and everything seems to be
25, 30,
25,
35,
30, 35. I mean, to
Before it was 15, 20, 25. Max
Right.
25 before, you get a really
get
nice place.
really nice, yeah.
Good quality, yeah.
Now 35, you get a nice place.
Yeah.
Semi-furnished.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's it's gone up. The pricing has gone up a lot, and that's why these other places are probably gone up in ranking, and the Philippines has gone down in ranking. You know.
Right.
But a lot of people are attracted here because, of course, the women, but also the language.
Yeah, that's a huge factor. A lot of people just don't want to make the effort into learning another language.
Yeah. It's also easier to socialize if everybody speaks English.
Yeah.
And a lot of people come to, for example, do Magedi because there's a lot of vloggers, and in general, there's a lot of vloggers in the Philippines because they all speak English, right?
Right.
So a lot of the vlogs are in English.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I don't see that type of amount of vloggers in Vietnam, maybe Thailand, but not in Vietnam or Malaysia or anywhere else.
No,
It's the
not
Philippines. So people seem to be enamored by the Philippines.
really. Yeah,
The
for
beauty
sure.
of the Filipina, I think, is what causes it. But it's also beautiful nature here. You have great diving, corals and everything. And
Yeah.
you compare the cost of living here to, for example, the U.S. is much cheaper, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
But now you start comparing to other countries, the prices here are. I mean, let me put it this way: living in Alicante, Spain, or living here, it's not that much difference in pricing.
Right.
And the quality is much higher in Spain than here. But I don't know. Everything goes up and down, and I think a lot of people come here, and a lot of people end up leaving. So maybe prices will come down again. I don't know. We'll see.
We can only hope. And with that note, guys, tune in to Paul and Mia's channel to find out what happens in their life and where they
Paul's
end up.
Asian Adventure and
Life with me.
Filipina Life with Mia.
It's been a while.
All right, thanks a lot, guys.
Just clap to synchronize.